Earned media is the modern term for news-driven editorial that portrays your product, your issue, or your company in a positive light. And it's perceived by the audience very differently to the way they might perceive advertising or sponsored content. It's made its way through the editorial gatekeepers, so it carries with it, to a greater or lesser degree, a level of independent support. PR practitioners have broadened their skills in recent years as integrated campaigns have come to include elements of paid, shared and owned media elements. But it's really the sense of news that distinguishes PR practitioners from other professionals in the marketing and communication space. Positioning editorial stories takes a lot of work, and often it's about pulling together the full package that makes life easy for the journalist and gets their attention. So the package typically would incorporate case studies, external experts, new research, and a really sharp breakthrough news angle. This kind of package isn't the package that PR people own, it's the package that journalists look for and are seeking when they're pulling stories together. Their ability to work with journalists, to position stories, to use their news sense and their ideas around the need to develop a package to ensure that their client's messages and the image of the client is portrayed in a positive editorial setting. So the job of the PR practitioner is to meet the need of the journalist. But earned media is extremely risky. It's unpredictable and there are no guarantees. Sometimes the case study or the external expert turns out in the context of a media interview not to be quite as compelling as they were when they were briefed by the PR consultant. Sometimes the timing can be a little bit out. For example, in this current state of COVID, it's extremely difficult to get the attention of journalists who are just so consumed and so obsessed with the latest developments around the pandemic. So there are lots of things that can set the editorial train off its tracks. So who takes the risk in delivering great editorial outcomes? Well, the simple answer to that is that paying client takes the risk. The client works in consultation with the PR team or the PR consultant to work out the news angle and the package and to make some decisions about what kind of approach and what kind of angle might work and whether or not it's worth investing resources in that particular news angle. It's like betting at the races. Think of your PR consultant as your form analyst. So they're providing you with advice about which races you should be betting in, what horses represent the best value, and providing you the best kind of advice around how to get a return on your investment. But at the end of the day, you're the one making the bet and you're the one taking the punt that your horse is going to come out in front. Or if you don't bet at the races, think about your PR consultant as kind of like your financial advisor when you come to invest in the stock market. Your financial advisor is providing you with advice about how to spread your risk, which stocks represent the best value, which industries are worth looking at and researching. But you can't be going into your financial advisor and saying you only want to invest in those stocks that increase, and you want your financial advisor to be taking all the risk. At the end of the day, it's your money and you're the one taking the risk. You can mitigate the risk by working closely with your PR agency to identify stories which have the greater chance of getting up. You can educate yourself about how incredibly competitive the news environment is, but you can't pass the risk off to others because at the end of the day, it's your investment, you'll get the benefit if it works, and you've got to own the risk moving forward.